we've got to always remember that government exists to serve people. That's what it's for. And it's no better or no worse than the people who are involved in it.
David Pryor is the director of the Institute of Politics at Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. For 2 years, he's promoted the Institute's mission to inspire students into politics and public service.
We've got to convince people that politics and government, public service, public life, that's what makes us different. That's what makes this country different. And it's also what makes us strong or what makes us weak if we don't participate. Now, I hope all of y'all don't go out and just try to make a lot of money, okay? Anyone can do that. Y'all go out and do something for people and do something to give back.
The Institute is well known for its forums, which attract the biggest names in politics and world affairs.
So glad that he got the chance to come to Harvard and share his gifts with you.
So, in about 10 minutes,
Yes, sir.
the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff will come in and...
Welcome. How are you,
Hey,
David
Myers,
Pryor?
how you doing?
Honored to have you
Honored
here.
to see you.
Good
Thank
to
you.
see you, sir. Thank you very, very much.
I'm not one of the head staff here, but he treats me as an equal. No matter who walks through the door, could be a former president, could be another staff member, and I feel like we're all at the same level.
Of all the things that I've learned from Senator Pryor, it's to really follow what you think you need to change about an organization and not to be afraid of that.
To his staff, he's DP. To the students, he's a mentor. To the people of Arkansas,
he's the highest there is in Arkansas politics.
I think it's fair to say that he is the most beloved political figure in our state.
David Pryor was born in 1934 in Camden, Arkansas. He got into politics at an early age.
Back in the third grade, I ran for president of the third grade class. I was in Miss Wheeler's classroom, and there were 3 or 4 of us who had been nominated to be class president, as I recall. Miss Wheeler, being a very kind woman, had all of us as running for the presidency step out in the hall, and I just said a little prayer. I said, you know, if I can get elected to this job, this will be it. I won't ask for any more political offices. This will do it for me.
Congratulations, David. You're our new class president.
As I was taking my seat, I was trying to figure out some way to become president of the 4th grade class.
David headed off to Washington in 1951 to become a page at the House of Representatives. He studied law at the University of Arkansas, met Barbara, his wife of 45 years, and began a family. As a state representative in 1960, Pryor met Dale Bumpers, and together they became part of the Young Turks.
And that meant mainly 4 or 5, 6 men and 1 or 2 women who had the courage to stand up against the most powerful governor that the state ever had, Orville Faubus.
I'll pinch myself, I might say, to really make me become aware once again that I'm up here.
At the urging of his mother, the freshman congressman investigated conditions at nursing homes. He went undercover, volunteering on weekends.
Well, I found that there was abuse, and more abuse than I had ever known about or ever thought about. The greatest abuse, I think, was neglect.
And so began the career of David Pryor, the advocate for older Americans. In the shadow of the U.S. Capitol, he set up a trailer to hold hearings and shamed the House into establishing a committee on aging. In 1973, Claude Pepper became the chair of the Select Committee on Aging.
I say let's exercise the option of saving people from freezing to death and support this bill.
The gentleman's time has expired.
By then, Pryor was back home running for governor.
We're trying to keep the elderly citizen in his home, in their own neighborhood, within their own environment, with their friends and neighbors.
Governor David Pryor established the Arkansas Area Agency on Aging, a nonprofit organization that runs senior centers and provides services to the homebound.
We work with senior citizens.
He worked very vividly and hard to try to establish certain programs and things for them here in the state of Arkansas.
The Honorable David Pryor, Senator from Arkansas, Chairman of the White House Conference on Aging.
In 1979, Senator David Pryor took his advocacy to a national stage. He became the chairman of the Senate Special Committee on Aging. He fought for higher nursing home standards. And he took on the drug companies, accusing them of corporate greed.
When people are now saying, millions of people as a matter of fact, I'm having to choose between buying food for my table or the drugs the doctor prescribed for me to stay alive. Now, what kind of a society do we have today if we cannot answer those people in saying, we're going to do something?
David Pryor is a remarkable combination of persistence and courage and humanity. Courage because he was the first, really, in the Senate to take on the pharmaceutical industry and raise the issue of price gouging and other practices that we now take for granted, but he was the one that led the way on that.
They're spending more money today to market drugs than they are to research drugs.
It's amazing that David Pryor in his political career was able to kind of step out and take a rather lonely position and find out that he may not have always been in line with some of the corporate interests, but he was certainly had his finger on the pulse of the grassroots.
Recently at an airport, a man came up to me and said, "May I ask you a question, sir?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Aren't you Congressman Claude Pepper?" And I said at that time, it's time to leave.
In 1996, after 35 years of service to people, David Pryor retired.
He treated politics as an honorable profession, and he treated public service as a duty and as a responsibility to be taken seriously.
Pryor taught at his alma mater and volunteered in Albania. In 2000, the Pryors moved to Harvard.
We welcome you to our little apartment here in the dormitory at Quincy House. We like it because we have about 4 glasses and 4 spoons and 4 knives here, you know, and we just have the basics, and that's kind of fun.
This is David fishing on the White River, and he loves to fish. It's been like for us going back to school in the old days when we've returned to our youth.
You see, let's don't look too lovey-dovey.
Oh, let's do.
It looks too much like it. Don't you think? What are you going to do, Jason, when you get out of here?
I'm going home for a couple of years.
Are
and,
you?
I am. Going to work on a campaign, so you've done your job well.
Well, good.
David has reached out, and he's a common guy. He relates to just about anybody on their level.
He is the finest public servant I have ever watched up close. He's a class act. He's in a place all by himself.
People ask me now, they said, "Boy, I bet you missed the United States Senate." I say, no. I miss some of the people in the Senate, but I can tell you, I'm going to miss the Institute of Politics. I'm going to miss it deeply. And so there's life after politics. I don't know exactly where mine will lead, which little road or where it will go, but the area of serving people, you know, as they say, service to humanity is the best work of life, and it is.
The post office in Camden bears his name. But David Pryor's legacy is not in monuments. It's in the people whose lives he has touched. People like the 72 Arkansans who will move into this new senior housing complex being built for the Arkansas Area Agency on Aging. It's in his son Mark, the Attorney General of Arkansas.
And he really, in a lot of ways, has been a role model for me. He's been a great mentor, a great advisor. In fact, I keep this desk of his in my Attorney General's office here just as kind of a daily reminder. And I oftentimes ask myself, I wonder what my dad would do if he were in this situation.
And David Pryor's legacy is in the young historians at the University of Arkansas.
He appreciates the human story. He took $220,000 of unexpended campaign funds in 1999 and created the Arkansas Center for Oral and Visual History. But he has a great love of the people of this state and the state's history. And he wants to do his part in preserving it.
His greatest quality is that he is such an eminently decent man.
caring and concerned and wants government to do those things for people that they can't do for themselves that we all know ought to be done and that make the country stronger and greater.
He cared about the welfare of older Americans, especially those in our home state of Arkansas. This was a lifetime commitment, David, so I congratulate you for this well-deserved award. I thank you for a lifetime of devotion to the public interest and for being the best friend anyone can have.
Congratulations, Senator Pryor.